You're the friggin' New York Yankees. For the love of God, do something.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. With me, as usual, is my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, do you want to bash your head into a wall as much as I do?
I have no more words.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one, guys. Strap in. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We passed 6,700 on Tuesday. Thank you for that. That's very cool. Like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified when our videos go live. Coming up on today's show, we preview the finale, thank God, of the Subway series. Thank God it's almost over. I can't take it anymore. We have injury updates. David Wells said some silly things on a radio show. But first, the Yankees lost the game before it even started, thanks to Aaron Boone's wonderful lineup construction.
Yeah, I love how going into an important series with two of your top starters pitching, you decide to go with the punt lineup for the pretty much the first time all season.
This
he has avoided doing that all year.
This was an all-time punt lineup. Just by the way, like it wasn't even the guys that was in it. It was the way it was constructed. Did you think in any situation that the Mets were going to pitch to Aaron Judge with J.D. Davis behind him, Mr. Boone? What are you doing?
J.D. Davis didn't have an at-bat since the 4th of July. That was the last time J.D. Davis had an at-bat. And then the best part, and I'm going to jump the gun here, but I think I need to. The most annoying part of this entire game, and we will go back and go over the entire game. Trust me. The most annoying part of this manager and this game is the comments after the game. And I'm at the point right now, and your face says it all, I can't take it anymore. The comments after the game are so unbelievable. I get it. You want to be a player's manager. I understand you want to support the guys. I'm not arguing that. Here's what I am arguing. You can't keep saying positive things after the team doesn't get hits. Yeah. This is the comment about J.D. Davis after the game. Are you ready? Because they asked, why did you take him out to put Ben Rice in after J.D. Davis was 0 for 3 with a ground out to double play and two strikeouts where he saw 8 total pitches. You want to see the comment? Here you go. I thought Quintana did a good job of slowing him down and speeding him up tonight. I thought Quintana was on his game tonight. Are we kidding? J.D. Davis did nothing but stare at pitches all night. And you batted him 4th. And
I got to hear about how Josh Donaldson in the playoffs again.
And I got to hear about how good Quintana was. Quintana, who's 36 years old, and to his credit, has had a really nice season and did pitch well tonight. But no good team should not be able to hit this guy. And J.D. Davis should not be batting 4th. So call out the manager all you want. Call out the general manager because J.D. Davis is batting at 4th in an important game after missing a month. He comes back and hits cleanup. And this is not Giancarlo Stanton out for a month. This is J.D. Davis out for a month. I don't understand how after this game, and again, we will go over the entire game, but I needed to get this off my chest. I don't understand how after this game, the first thing the manager thinks to do in the post game is to compliment his players and talk about how they fought hard and they worked hard and they had good at-bats. Who cares? They had no hits. They had 2 runs. One was off an, home run. I mean, give me a break. And that it's, Stacey, it's after every game, as heartbreaking as it is or as 15-run loss as it is. Oh, we really battled. Enough with the really battled. Enough. I can't take it anymore. It's so obnoxious. It's so ridiculous. It's like he's not watching the same game that we're watching. We're all watching this. And I get it. You want to have a player's manager. I'm all for it. I know that's today's modern day game. They fired Joe Girardi because Gary Sanchez couldn't handle being called out after dropping a ball in the playoffs. I get it. Totally understand. But at a certain point, when your team musters 2 runs against a Mets team that can't pitch, against the Mets, you made the Mets bullpen look like the 09 Yankees, and the Mets bullpen can't pitch on a night where Edwin Diaz was not available, and you couldn't get a hit against them. It is and you can't go to the podium and say anything negative about the team. Would he be lying? What excuse would Cashman or Steinbrenner have to fire Boone if he went up there tonight and said, we stink?
Right.
What excuse? Would he be lying? Would he be telling? Would he be try something different? It's so pathetic. You can take the floor now.
No, it is. It's absolutely pathetic. I can't take it anymore. This team is gonna make me snap. And I've been hosting this show 6 years. I'm known for being calm, and they've broken me. They have absolutely broken me. You should have heard the string of expletives that came out of my mouth when that game ended. I scared my cats because I was so upset. And it's not losing to the Mets. I couldn't care less if it's the Mets. It's the game
Completely
itself.
agree.
You know what I mean? Just all these games that they're losing to these teams, there's no accountability for anything. They keep saying, oh, things are going to turn around. We're going to turn things around. We're working on things. Things are going to get better. When are things going to get better? This is what you're doing to me. I am yelling on this show, and I don't like yelling on the show, but you guys have broken me, and you've gotten me to this point. I can't take it anymore. I can't take the lip service anymore. I can't take the excuses anymore. You're the friggin' New York Yankees. For the love of God, do something to fix this team. I can't take this anymore. And people are going to say, hey, they almost have 60 wins. Like we keep saying, yeah, they were close to 60 wins 2 months ago. Yeah. They
almost have 60 wins because they played out of their mind at the start of the year.
But I can't take the excuses. I can't take the nonchalant attitude about everything. They should be angry. They should be how we are right now. Mm-hmm. They should not be accepting this right now. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And I'm sick and tired of it. They're never going to win with Aaron Boone as the manager. Never. And I've been saying this for 3 years. Never, ever, ever are they winning a World Series with Aaron Boone. They're never going to they might make an ALCS, but they'll never win a pennant with him either because they're never going to make it past that round either. I can't take it.
I got to hear about how after the game, some teams, some teams go after Aaron Judge, and some teams decide not to go after Aaron Judge. You allowed the Mets to not go after Aaron Judge because you batted J.D. Davis after him. There was no protection. I was texting my best friend who's a Mets fan who bet the Yankees going into the ninth inning because he figured there's no way Diekman's going to get out of this because all he does is blow saves or blow opportunities late in games.
Not against the 2024 Yankees.
And here's the funny part, though. I was texting my friend at the same point, and I said to him, I would walk Judge here. And I would have. Mm-hmm. I would have walked Judge. Put the potential game-winning run on base because there was a 0% chance Ben Rice, who everyone loves Ben Rice because he had a 3 home run game and he's had a nice start to his career. But now, if anyone's been watching the Yankees over the last 2 weeks, Ben Rice is 4 for his last 400,000. He can't get a hit. He doesn't have a prayer out there like every other Yankee player not named Soto or Judge. And to take out J.D. Davis because he had 3 terrible at-bats coming back, to replace him with Ben Rice, what are we doing? You allow no team. Again, don't give me the excuse of they decided to not go after Judge. They're not Barry Bondsing Aaron Judge. What they're doing is knowing that you have a 0 behind Aaron Judge, and there is no reason at all to even threaten Aaron Judge. You watched all the at-bats tonight. Every pitch to Judge is out of the zone, up and away, low. They're seeing if Judge will chase. If Judge won't chase, which he hasn't done since his second year in the league, he's going to take his walks and get on base, which is what good players do. But I can't sit here anymore and watch this team and hear about how, they just don't attack Judge. What's their incentive to attack Judge? You have to give other teams a reason to attack him. They have no incentive whatsoever to pitch to him. There's no reason. Again, I would have put the game-winning run in Aaron Judge on base in the ninth inning to go face Ben Rice. I would have, because who's getting a hit? Is it Ben Rice? Is it Glaber after that? Is it Verdugo after that? No, none of these players are getting a hit after that. The entire team stinks below the 3-hole. And that's including the leadoff hitter. 2 and 3 are having tremendous MVP level years. Do you realize this, Stacey? They might potentially miss the postseason. And somehow Baltimore is playing so unbelievably. People don't even talk about that, how bad Baltimore has been. The Yankees should be 10 games out of the AL East right now, and they're a game out of it because Baltimore can't win a game either. But the Yankees could potentially miss the postseason if they keep losing at this straight. I know that sounds incredibly crazy to even think of, that they've been that bad. They've been losing games at such a string. They could actually miss the postseason. Do you realize they could miss the postseason and have 2 of the top 3 AL MVP candidates in their lineup?
Yeah.
And miss the postseason.
Yeah.
That you talk about wanting to re-sign Soto. We did this whole segment yesterday about how Soto wants to play for a championship contender. What the heck is this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Scott Boras, who was in the building tonight and rides home in whatever Uber X Unlimited that they ride home from tonight from Yankee Stadium, you think Scott Boras is going to look at Soto and be like, championship lineup, man? This ain't championship lineup. The comments after the game, and you spoil Heel, who had a really nice start, nice start. You look at what Tonka did. Weaver with the gutsiest inning I think I've seen all year from Yankee reliever. I mean, they really did pitch well tonight, and you got to be. I'm not gonna lie too. The start Luis Heel had tonight is really an ace type start, right? Because he didn't have his great stuff, and he figured it out. He somehow struck out 6, only had 1 walk, and he just managed and weaved through it and gave you a chance getting out of that bases loaded jam late, right? Weaver getting himself into trouble, getting out of it. Like, there were so many positives that you could have took out of this game, and instead the lineup was. And I'm sorry, like, I want to. Judge should be in the locker room right now calling the team out. You know that he's not doing it.
No, of course he's not doing it.
And I got to tell you, had the 3 walks, took 3 walks. Very happy with that. I'm not going to fully kill him because he has 90 RBIs this year, and not even August yet. But Stacey, find me the biggest Aaron Judge fan in the world, and read me the excuse, please, for the last at bat.
Right.
Please, because we were all obsessed with the All-Star game. You know what? Let's go to the commercial break, and then we'll talk about Judge's final at bat. We'll talk about that last inning, because I know we have other topics to get to. How about
we can skip some stuff.
How about we push those back, because I'm not even fully done with this.
Yep.
I'm not.
We can do that. Yep. All right. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when they go up. Also, Monday through Thursday, we put a pinned comment down there for you to put questions for us for Fan Mail Friday. We do it every week. It's a lot of fun. Everyone gets involved. You guys basically produce the show by asking us questions about the Yankees, about baseball in general. It's a lot of fun. And there's a Locked On Yankees Insiders Club, and if you join it, you get top priority on Fan Mail Friday and other goodies. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, more ranting from the two of us, because we've just had enough of this team.
This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. It's summer, and that means baseball, but summer also means travel, and why not mix the two? Don't you think it's time you explored some of those cities across the country that you secretly want to learn about? Yes, we're talking about Yankees rivalry cities. Planning a trip to Fenway to see the Yankees take on the Red Sox this coming weekend? Booking.com makes it a breeze. And it's not just about hotels. You can choose from a variety of accommodations like bed and breakfasts, vacation rentals, resorts, and more, all with the convenience of Booking.com. On Booking.com, you can find the perfect stay even in your baseball team's rival city. And for Yankee fans, that's more than just Boston. It includes Baltimore and Tampa too. You could book hotels that overlook stadiums or book family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or in the Booking.com app. And this episode of Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks. With as little as 4 correct picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000. And with the NBA season on their yearly break, the hoops action doesn't stop on PrizePicks. Women's basketball is heating up, and with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves, alongside greats like Brianna Stewart and Aja Wilson, you can win up to 100 times your cash watching these girls ball out. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Locked On Sports today is a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the noise. Locked On Sports Today brings you canvas analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And don't forget that you can catch every pitch of the Yankees' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. We had some decent at-bats in the big spots, and even in the last inning. I felt like we had good at-bats. It's a tough one. Guess who that quote came from?
Oh, no. Please don't say Judge.
Nope, that's Aaron Boone.
Oh, it's
Your
Boone again.
fearless
Okay.
leader, Yankee fans. That's the manager of the team telling you that you had good at-bats in the ninth inning when Aaron Judge stared at the ball down the middle of the plate for strike three. And Ben Rice,
Two
who
balls down the middle. Strike one and strike three.
I know the umpire was annoying with his calls and inconsistent all night, but Ben Rice, who stared at pitches right in the area of the strike zone in the ninth inning with 2 outs and a runner on. Stacey, there are certain things that baseball fans and kids who played baseball as a child have been hearing their entire lives, right? If you're a female who didn't play baseball as a kid, you certainly sat at baseball fields and heard people say these things. If you're a boy who's played baseball his entire life, you've certainly heard coaches and confidants and family members say these things, right? And what's the one thing that we've all heard say? There's 2 strikes. Gotta protect the plate. Not a single Yankee player did that in the ninth inning today. And I know Judge has 90 RBIs and he's had an unbelievable season, potentially the best of his career. And if the season ended now, he'd win the AL MVP in a landslide. He's probably going to win anyway because he's so much of a heavy favorite for the AL MVP. It's not even funny. Stacey, find me the biggest Aaron Judge supporter out there and convince me how you could have been okay with that at bat.
I don't think anyone was okay with that at bat.
Well, it seems like Aaron Boone is. Judge really fought, according to Aaron Boone. That last at bat, first of all, it was such a big deal for him to swing at the first pitch against Paul Skeens in the All-Star game. And we talked about this and why it annoyed me. Because he swung at the first pitch against Paul Skeens when everyone in the planet wants to see a long at bat. And then all of a sudden we get into the ninth inning and he's taking a ball right down the middle for the first pitch of the at bat. They haven't given you a pitch to hit the entire game, and the Mets try to get ahead on a strike, and they get ahead on you immediately. Stare at a ball right on the plate. The second strike, not a great call, but again, gotta protect. And the last one. Was it a little off? Potentially. Is there an argument? Potentially. I don't want to hear it. That ball is close enough to the zone in the ninth inning with a runner on where you have to protect and you have to swing the bat there. You cannot stare at strike 3 in that position. I don't want to hear the excuse. I don't want to hear the umpire. The umpire being inconsistent is definitely an excuse in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth inning. You can use that excuse. When we get to the ninth inning, I don't want to hear about how he's inconsistent. I don't. If he's been inconsistent all day, that's his consistency. He's consistently inconsistent. You have to know that. So with 1 strike, don't swing at a ball out of the zone. And if he calls a strike on it, okay, he's inconsistent. With 2 strikes in the ninth inning and a runner on, when you're the Yankees' only hope, you cannot be staring at pitches that are that close to the zone. That is, and Stacey, I don't want to hear the excuse because that is baseball 101. Any female who's been to a baseball field to watch a Little Leaguer play, any male who played Little League baseball, any grandpa right now who coached Little League baseball has heard the exact same quote their entire life. I know my father used to say it to me all the time. My coaches said it to me all the time. All my friends, I'm sure you heard it. My mother heard it. Everyone's heard it. You have 2 strikes you have to protect. And none of Ben Rice and Aaron Judge in that ninth inning didn't protect the plate. Tell me they did. Was the umpire inconsistent all night? Yes, but you knew that since the first inning. You knew that for 3 hours. And both hitters in these situations didn't protect the plate, took balls right down the middle of the plate, didn't attack the pitcher. You didn't attack one of the most inconsistent relievers in the entire sport, who was trying to get ahead of Aaron Judge by throwing a ball down the middle of the plate. It was so important to swing at Paul Skeens' first pitch in the All-Star game. Why not go out there and swing it at Diekman's first pitch of this? Because you knew he was trying to get ahead of you. And he gets ahead of you. And then you get the unfair call on strike 2, but give me a break with strike 3. I can't give Judge an excuse there. That ball is definitely close enough where you cannot complain in that spot. You can't.
Yeah. Like I said, this didn't feel like a win before the game even started. Like, it felt like nothing they were going to do was actually going to win this game, because it was just, it felt like one of those Sunday afternoon, they won the first 2 games, punt lineup in a game that is important for the Yankees because they need to get into a groove and win a couple of games in a row, right? They had a good game on Monday. They need to build on that. Like, I don't care. Again, I couldn't care less if it's the Mets. It's just the fact that they went into this game basically saying, here, take the game, because
we don't care.
We don't care. That's what it feels like. It feels like they don't care. It feels like Boone doesn't care. It feels like Cashman doesn't care, because who knows if he got like chatter in his ear to make that lineup. Because, you know, I don't like that they don't, it feels like they don't care.
But here's the thing, Stacey, and I've said this for years. I'm cool with the punt lineup when you're 35 games over 500.
Sure.
The Dodgers, watch Dodger games. There's plenty of punt lineups they've thrown out there the last couple of years. When they're 30 games over 500, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
It's a game in July. It's the dog days of the season. Guys need rest. Totally. I'm not going to sit here and be 98-year-old Yankee fan who's complaining that Joe DiMaggio played 175 games per year, so why can't Aaron Judge? No, there's science that's into this that says these guys cannot play every day and they need their rest at certain times. There's a lot of research that goes into this. I'm not arguing that. But right. Stacey, when your team is reeling and you need wins and you're playing this bad, guess what? You have not afforded yourself to take time off. You haven't. You have to earn the punt lineup. You have to earn being able to put those lineups out and saying, here, take this win. The Yankees haven't earned that. They've played so bad and they need to get themselves on a roll. They have to play. They have to put out their best lineup every single day because they need to win ball games. They could potentially, I don't think it's going to happen because there's no one in the AL that seems to want to take spots. It's like pretty much the playoff teams and that's it. It's not like the National League. Yeah. But they could legitimately miss the postseason. That's how bad they're playing.
Right. The only person who needed a day off was Austin Wells because he had caught like 4 days in a row. Yeah. And I understand that, right? But everything else, I mean, I know Verdugo's not doing anything, but it would have looked a little better if he was in the cleanup spot compared to JT Davis. I mean, he might not have done anything, but at least when you look at the lineup and you're like, oh, all right. I mean, that makes sense. But when I literally said on Twitter, I said, okay, it's like 3 months after April Fool's. Where's the real lineup? Like, this cannot be real. Like, what is this? What is this lineup?
You have a guy who's got like 10 at-bats as a Yankee and hasn't played since the 4th of July. And let's be real too. It's not like JD Davis has been tearing the cover off the ball this year either. Right? If you traded for JD Davis and he was a 350 hitter all year with 20 homers and 70 RBIs and you threw him back in there and he still only had a cup of coffee with the Yankees and you threw him back in there to get his at-bat, then I understand. Stacey, he's been terrible all year. Mm-hmm. He's got like 15 at-bats as a Yankee. He hasn't had an at-bat in 2 weeks, and that's who you chose as your cleanup hitter?
Do you think that Boone saying what he said about him tonight is going to make it so he's in tonight's game, Wednesday?
I mean, he's going to play. They're going up against another lefty, so he's going to play. I don't know. I don't know how Jahmai Jones is batting leadoff. The guy also hasn't played in 2 weeks. That's because he stinks. And yet he's leading off somehow. I don't know how Volpe doesn't deserve to be in that spot somehow tonight. I mean, I know Volpe hasn't been great, although the last 4 games Volpe's been awesome. But regardless of all that, how did Volpe not earn a starting spot in the top of the lineup? If you're going to give a punt lineup, how are you starting a guy leading off who hasn't played in 2 weeks? Not because he's hurt, but hasn't played in 2 weeks. He's not a good baseball player. I just, there's so many things that go on. I don't understand anymore how this manager has a job. I don't get it. I don't know if you want to preserve the season. I don't understand how trading for, I don't know who you could possibly trade for, barring Shohei Ohtani, how you're going to all of a sudden turn this around. I'd love to see it. I don't get it. They need so many pieces to fix this. I don't see what the option is other than firing the manager right now just to get a spark out of this team.
Yep. All right. Coming up next, we're going to run through some injury updates quickly, and we're going to preview the pitching matchup for the Subway Series finale. We'll skip the David Wells stuff. We don't need to talk about it, but we'll do all that next. If you're looking for tickets for just about anything, check out the app GameTime. GameTime is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and shows near you. Game 2 of the Subway series is tonight, and GameTime has deals on tickets right up to moments before the game starts and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. So if you decide to go to Yankee Stadium at 7:15 for the 7 o'clock start, you can get tickets. You can also find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for the New York Liberty, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app and get $20 off your first purchase with code LOCKEDONMLB. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV channels app. And remember, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. All right. Let's go through some of the injury rehab updates, because there was some news before the game on Tuesday. Boone was telling reporters Jasson Dominguez could appear in rehab games within this next coming week in Scranton. He was taking live BP down in Tampa, and he's actually heading up to Scranton to do that. So that's good, because he's a little bit ahead of schedule from where we thought he was going to be.
They're going to have to call him up almost immediately, because they're going to need him to bat if in Verdugo's place.
Yeah.
It's funny too, because just to quickly mention, Verdugo was playing so well prior when Dominguez was getting healthy originally. That we were both saying you can't even call Dominguez up because Verdugo's playing so well. Now Verdugo's been so bad, he's relegated himself to a bench spot. Dominguez is going to have to come up and play left field.
Yeah, it's crazy. Stanton is close to coming back. He was taking BP and running. He could be back next week. Okay, so let's not get confused here. Yeah. John Birdie resumed baseball activities on Monday. Nick Birdie, the reliever, not to be confused with John, could also start a rehab assignment next week. And John Birdie, the infielder, grew a really stylish mustache. He's looking like he's Matt Carpenter 2022. So that's pretty funny. Per the Scranton Rail Riders, Clayton Beeter was transferred to the 60-day IL, which isn't surprising because Cashman said that his season could be in jeopardy. It looks like it is. We knew it was a possibility, but God, what a fall, because he was an option at the beginning of the season. We were talking about, hey, maybe they can bring Beeter up, and now his season is effectively over at this point, which stinks for him, and wish him well, but shoulder injury there, so that's just tricky.
Yeah, not good. That's going to be one of those things you're going to have to evaluate and look towards 2025. Again, not a pitcher who hasn't made his major league debut yet, so you're not really like looking at that and thinking, what could have been if they could have called him up. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, but really it could have been a piece that they could have used. We were really talking about how good he had been, a piece they could have really used. The Dominguez stuff, they're going to have to call him up, but they have no option at this point. He's going to get minimal starts in Scranton. He's not going to get a full rehab assignment. He's going to get minimal starts and have to call him up. And I do think that Stanton could potentially play in the Boston series. I think there's a real chance that if not, definitely by next week. Apparently the batting practice that he had on the field today was tremendous. Or yesterday was tremendous, hitting the ball really hard. He was really good, so he should be back in the lineup. Regardless, it lengthens the lineup, and that's what they need most of all.
I just have to correct you. Clayton Beeter did appear in a game.
Oh, that's right. Yes, Houston. He did. That's right. He did.
In the first, because I was like, wait, no, I think he did actually, because he's from Texas, and I think his whole family was there, right? I think that's what it
really hasn't fully started his career yet.
Sure. Yeah. But he was, because he was one of the guys that was up, and then they,
You know what though? According to Clayton Beeter's checking account, his career has started. So he made his debut. He's active on the roster. So I don't think he really cares.
All right, so second game of the Subway Series, the final one of the year against the Mets, thank goodness. Sean Manaea 6-4 with a 3.73 ERA against Gerrit Cole. 3-1 with a 4.60 ERA. The Mets are a big reason why it's a 4.60 ERA. I'm not worried about Cole going into this. I'm worried about the offense.
I'm excited to watch Cole pitch.
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch Cole pitch. I think he's going to have that bulldog mentality. He's going to bury his head. He's going to have a little bit of vengeance out there because he's going to want to dominate the Mets only because of how his ERA is inflated because of the Mets. I think big game, like Cole's gonna have his energy out there. I don't know how you're winning though, because I don't know how you're gonna hit. But
right.
you know,
right,
exactly. Like, you know, it doesn't matter who's in the. That's the problem too with this team. You could have prime Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver, whoever you want out there. Doesn't matter. You're not winning games if you can't pitch, if you can't hit.
Right.
You're not.
It's just the most frustrating thing about it is, like we said, they cannot string wins together to save their lives. They just can't. They'll win a game and then lose two. Win a game, lose two more. Win another game, lose two. It's really frustrating because we even said it yesterday. It was like, yeah, yesterday was a good game. Monday was a good game, and Rodon looked good, and the offense did good things. And you're like, okay, great, but let's see them do this 2 times in a row. It can't happen.
Go watch.
And it's the complete
go look at the
opposite
Rockies
of the beginning of the season.
I'm not going to add the White Sox because they're all-time bad. Go look at the Rockies. Go look at the Marlins. Bad teams in this league that are in last place. Go look at the Nationals. This is what they do. They play nice for one game. They pitch well. They have a good game, and then they lose 3 in a row. And then they play nice, and they have one game, and then they lose 8-1, 7-1. And then they win a game 6-4, and everyone's like, oh, nice performance. And then they lose 8-1. They lose 7-1. This is what bad teams do. This is what bad teams do. And I don't want to call the Yankees that because they nearly got 60 wins before July was over. They have not been a bad baseball team this year, but the last month and a half, they've been a bad baseball team. Right. Damn, the last 2 months. I mean, they've been a bad baseball team, and I don't want to sit here and have to hear that they're playing like the Marlins play. They're playing like the like the Nationals play. They're playing like a bad baseball team, and that's what they are. This is what inconsistent bad teams do. This they pitch well for a start, they score runs, and then they don't. And you know what bad teams do? They score their runs when they pitch well. So they don't get it. They don't get it differently, right? So when they get a good pitching performance out of Rodon, that's when they give you 8 runs.
Right.
But when they get an okay start, that's the time when they can't score a monster run.
Right. Like if he gave up 3 runs, they would have only scored 2. And like 3 runs in like 6 innings, 3 runs in 7 innings is not that bad of a start. And that's yeah. Oh boy. Oh, so shall we tell them we are doing what we were going to right? Because we decided Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday night after the game, live on YouTube within 10 minutes of the end of the game. So whenever the game ends, come to YouTube and watch our live reactions. No editing. So that'll be interesting. Not that I'm editing really anything out of this. Did either of us mess anything up tonight? I don't think we did. I think we did everything cleanly. So yeah. So we're going to do it. I don't know how, as angry as we are. So yeah, we're going to do a live show again within like 10 to 15 minutes of the game ending. Like we might want to watch like maybe some comments from Boone, depending on how the game goes, just so we could talk about it on the post game. That'll be your assignment. You can do that while I set everything up.
Thank you. My blood pressure. Thanks you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Look, you're young. You can handle it. I'm nearly 50. I can't, my blood pressure, and I can't with my heart rate. It's dangerous at this point. All right, one more time. You can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description under our YouTube videos, a 14-day free trial. You'll get text from us. I forgot to text out the lineup today. I should have done that to see the reactions. You can text us questions, and you can text us questions for Fan Mail Friday. Again, we do it every week, or you can leave your questions under the pinned comment below our YouTube videos Monday through Thursday to get your questions answered for Fan Mail Friday. If you're an insider, you get top priority, and you appear in segment 1 every Friday. And remember, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. Brian has to put a battery in his his smoke detector. So that'll do it. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll see you tomorrow.